Okay, you saw the title. Let's get to it. I really want to talk about Andy first before I start talking about the girls. I'm just so annoyed by Andy. And honestly, I've been annoyed by Andy for some time now with the decisions he's been making with the franchise as it is and what he's been doing with the OGs and how disrespectful he's gotten. But I see it's a pattern with him getting disrespectful with the Housewives of New Jersey and being disrespectful to Teresa, period. I think that Andy is actually a bully, and I think he is bullying Teresa at this reunion, and it's sad. I don't know why he's doing it. I have my own theories, but I feel like it's disgusting when the host, who is really supposed to be unbiased and just asking questions, this isn't about him. You know, when you're the host, it's not about you. It's about the cast. And I cannot stand that these days the host gets to create and give all these different opinions, which to me takes away from the opinions and comments that the cast has. The host should not be being a housewife. And I feel like Andy screaming and hollering at Teresa is just ridiculous. For one, I know a lot of Teresa haters will say, well, she deserves it. She's this, she's that. The Housewives of New Jersey would not be anything that it is if it was not for Teresa. Whether you hate her or love her, that is a fact. Teresa has given more to the Housewives franchise than probably any housewife, almost any housewife. You know why? Teresa has given her family, her parents who have both died. She has given her daughters, her ex-husband. She has gone to jail on the show. She has come out of jail and still been on the show. She's given every piece of her life. She allowed her brother to come on the show and argue with her and create all these different scenarios and dramas that dramatizations that he has created. And it's just crazy to me how she gets disrespected like this by Andy and whomever else when she's given the most. So people saying, oh, she needs to go. No, she actually doesn't need to go. She needs to go when she wants to. And I feel like the network and Andy owe her that for how much of her life she sacrificed. But back to Andy, because this is really what I wanted to say, is I feel like Andy is like making the housewives kind of like go down. I don't know what has gotten into him. I don't know if it's because he's just like stressed out with it. I know it can be very stressful with all these different casts that he has to deal with, of women screaming, arguing, whatever. But if you can't handle it, Andy, and if you're breaking mentally, in my opinion, then maybe you should take a few years off from the hosting, or at least a year off from hosting. Maybe ask Anderson Cooper or someone else. Well, I don't know if he'll be able to handle it, actually. But maybe ask John Mayer, your friend, somebody else, to come in and host. Like Nikki hosted, maybe you need to allow others to host so you can get yourself together. Because this is the second time in a row with Jersey that their reunion, you have gotten out of control and been disrespectful. There should never be a time that we see you as an executive, as a host, as a producer, as all of that behind the scenes, that you have the titles, you know, all those titles that you have, that you would be unable to control your emotions like this, unless you're just doing this for attention and ratings, just because you think people are going to be talking about you screaming and losing it. But honestly, it's unflattering, and it's disgusting to see you join this Gorga bandwagon against Teresa when the Gorgas wouldn't be anything that they are on this show if it was not for Teresa. And all the people saying that, oh, they're deciding whether they want to get rid of Teresa or Melissa. If you get rid of Teresa, what is Melissa's storyline going to be? What is her storyline going to be? What is Joe Gorga's storyline going to be? So, Andy, I don't know why you always tend to make the wrong decisions. And he's made other wrong decisions, but I think, like, he has some gripe with the OGs. Teresa is one of the last standing original housewives on any of the franchises. I think they got rid of all the rest of them. No surprise there. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy is trying his hardest to push Teresa out for whatever dumb reason, but that would be very dumb for the show. But if he does it because they tend to do the wrong decisions, it's going to be terrible. Jersey's going to go downhill just like some of the other franchises. You know, Atlanta, you guys keep saying, oh, Candy can handle it. No, they got rid of Nene. Atlanta has been boring for the last however many seasons, and we'll do that in another video. Housewives of Orange County got rid of Vicky. as you can see, struggling, in my opinion. So pretty much this reunion is not much different from many others that Teresa has had to endure. Everything is about blaming her and Louis and attacking her and Louis. Granted, I'm not saying that Louis is perfect or anything, but think about it. None of the house husbands are on Jersey. None of them are innocent. Frank even tried to join in, obviously, because his storyline with Dolores is running out because Dolores is like ready to move on, but that's another conversation for another day. Even he tried to jump on the bandwagon because he's cool with Joe, and they all do it. It's really pathetic because we see the alliances. We see the alliance with Marge and Melissa and Jackie, and then we see the alliance with their husbands, and we know that Marge controls her husband, so of course he's going to go with anything she says and Joe Gorga says, and Frank is, desperate for attention. Frank, let's get on Frank for a second because I really want to say that Frank it's way too old to act the way he acts. I didn't know it, but Frank is in his 60s, still thinking he's some cool young bachelor. He really needs to grow up and grow a pair and get his own brain, okay? I just wanted to throw that in there. But this whole reunion, from what it looks like, is going to be Teresa getting attacked by sassy, Joanna Gorga and her husband. And his wife, the woman of 10 nose jobs, knows Lissa Gorga, Teresa's biggest hater and fan at the same time. And those of you that don't see it, y'all are crazy. Melissa is an attention seeker, and it's clear as day. But nevertheless, they're all on Melissa's side pretty much. And from the clips of the reunion, clearly Andy is also on their side. Andy, I'm starting to think that you're just getting senile. I think that with age and time and all this screaming and yelling over the years, he's just senile. Half the cast is senile. Troutmouth Margaret is so miserable. She was even at Teresa's wedding saying negative things about Teresa's hair. Margaret is just one of the most miserable, vile creatures that has been on Bravo, and a lot of her fans don't seem to see it, but she's miserable. She's not that's my opinion. She just seems so miserable, and she hates on anything and anyone who challenges her vindictiveness. I also don't understand how everyone is upset with Louis for getting information on the group when his first season and everything, everybody was attacking him about information that they found on him, which we know came from Margaret, like Teresa said, because she has information on everybody. So you guys are mad at Louis for getting information on the group to defend himself and his newfound wife, but you're not mad at Margaret for having information on everybody and even spreading information about her quote-unquote friends, knows Lissa, cough, cough. Yep, so this is the angle that probably Andy and production are doing, is thinking, oh, maybe if we continue to do this and blame Teresa and everything, maybe she'll leave. But you know what? Nevertheless, even if they do make that decision for Teresa to leave or whatever, her legacy is still going to be unmatched. Everybody's still going to be thinking about her. Nobody ever is going to be able to give what she gave on Jersey. And I wouldn't be surprised if the ratings drop. Andy doesn't seem to appreciate Teresa, who everyone talks about every season, and creates a storyline for numerous people. And also Jennifer. And I'm going to have to do a separate video about how Jennifer has contributed and saved Housewives of New Jersey since Danielle left. And even when Danielle was there again for a second, Jennifer and Teresa have pretty much been carrying it, and Andy seems to disrespect and kind of seems snarky, and when they're on Watch What Happens Live, he seems like he has an issue with both. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a scheme that Andy set up for this reunion. Also, I did want to comment very quickly on the allegations of the Gorgas actually being the ones who allegedly turned Teresa and Juicy Joe into the feds. I know that's going around. Honestly, it may sound far-fetched a little bit, but with how envious, and you see not Teresa, you see Melissa's boutique name is Envy. Okay, her boutique name is Envy. With how envious and jealous hearted she is of Teresa and others, I'm sure, and how envious and messy and childish her husband is, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that to try to push Teresa out, not knowing that she would be able to come back and return. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying they did or didn't, but you just never know. In the world, people who you least expected do crazy things to you. That includes your family. So I'm happy Teresa is stepping away from Joe. I think he's been very toxic. He's done this with her last relationship. He was very disrespectful back then. He initiated so many arguments and even the physical altercation between them. If you guys don't recall, Giudice actually came in and told him, apologized to Teresa, and Joe Gorga actually initiated the fight. So, he's just been acting this way for quite some time. But Andy is going to turn a blind eye because he enjoys. I don't know. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Andy had a crush on Joe Gorga. We've already seen him lick plastic dildos, not Andy, but Joe Gorga, and lick other people's penises and everything else. I don't even know if I can say that word on here. On the show. So I wouldn't be surprised if he might have a little crushy crush on Joe Gorga and might do a little something allegedly, in my opinion, with the couple. A lot of these modern day couples do like to do a little swinging. So on that note, I'm gonna leave it there. You guys let me know what you think. I mean, we'll see what the actual reunion is like when it comes out, but we can already see what it's going to be like. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. And subscribe to the channel, y'all. I'm just doing little commentary here and there, and I'm trying to see what sticks, what doesn't, what's working, what's not. Subscribe to the channel so I can actually keep going with it and everything like that, because it's, whatever. Okay, bye.